Hey, I'm Matt Hudgens, and he's Dave Mulvaney, and this is Profitability MD. Dave, how you doing today, buddy?
Great, Matt. How about you?
Life is good. Episode 149, increase sales by using risk reversal. So what is it, and what do we mean by it, and how can you use that to increase your sales?
Well, first you have to address what, people have the challenges of, okay, if I buy from you, they have these fears. I'm afraid I'm going to lose money. I'm afraid, so risk reversal is a way of enhancing your offer so that people can make a decision and overcome their fear. Because usually when it's right down to time to buy, like I think before you did, you mentioned like General Motors during '08 and '09.
Well, we'll come back to that. It'll be some of our great examples. We're jumping ahead. So we got to have some basics. We kind of broke this down into 6 different categories, right? So you could have kind of your standard guarantee, 30-day money-back guarantee. And a matter of fact, I think that's required in some states here in the United States, 30-day money-back guarantee type stuff. So that would be your basic guarantee. But of course, everybody else is doing that. So is that really going to differentiate yourself, right? It might not. A lot of times people aren't aware of that guarantee, right? So you need to make it aware of it. A lot of times you might offer that money-back guarantee, but you just don't talk about it, right? So you could easily just start talking about it. They were, Schwab has, Schwab Financial Advisors. And so Schwab has one where it's like money-back guarantee for their quarterly advisory fees. Well, it turns out that they were already offering that anyway. They just weren't talking about it. But what it really is just returning this quarter's fees. It's not paying you any more. It's just refunding this quarter's fees. And then, by the way, you can't be a client of ours ever again anyway.
Yeah.
Like if you take the money back, you're out, right? So, but
then why would you want to be? If you look at it from the customer's,
you didn't like it, right? But my point is a lot of advisors offer, going to give you back your last quarter's worth of fees. They just never talk about it, right? Now here's Schwab, who is talking about it. Hey, we'll give you back your last quarter's of fees. Most Merrill Lynch's and of the world would do that for you, but they never advertise that. They never talk about that. So here they are, something you might already be guaranteeing, but you're not talking about it, and you can use that as a selling point. We're trying to make it like a no-brainer, the biggest no-brainer in the world. Why not do business with me? This is the biggest no-brainer in the world. There's a local guy here in Atlanta. I think he's local. He might have been regional, and he used to run these radio ads for refinancing your mortgage. And this was actually before the last crash. And it's the biggest no-brainer of the world. Call us and refinance your mortgage. It's the biggest no-brainer in the world. So what he was trying to do was, obviously, by pointing it out, the biggest no-brainer in the world, but also he had some guarantee, we'll lower your payment by X amount of dollars, or whatever. We'll give you a gift card or something like that. I forget what it was.
Yeah, as a copywriter, the guarantee is probably one of the biggest places you can overcome the fears that your clients have of making that purchase. It's that one thing that says, okay, if I spend this money, am I going to lose it?
Yeah.
And you want to make your, like when you and I, we offer a business breakthrough session. And our guarantee is this: if you go through our business breakthrough session and we can't find $50,000 in your business, we'll pay you $250 for spending the time with us. That's right. Why? Because we know we can find $50,000 in any business. So the guarantee is such that we know we're not going to have to pay it. But frankly, we screen you well enough so that if you just started a business and there's no way we can find 50,000, we're not going to go through a business breakthrough session with you anyway, because you're not our ideal client. But if your business is, successful, but you're trying to grow, then we know you're our target audience. And then we have a great guarantee based around that. So.
Right. So let's talk about the other ways, then we'll give it examples, right? So standard 30-day money-back guarantee is a good one. You can enhance that by a 90-day money-back guarantee, right? Number 3, try it before you buy it. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Guarantee results of the outcome, right? The Weight Watchers lose 10 pounds in a month of your money back guarantee. We talked about the customer always wins. Hey, you can return it after 30 days plus keep the bonus XYZ for free. And also the platinum double your money back guarantee, like what you just talked about. Not only, for your time, we'll give you your money back, plus we'll pay you to try our product. Right. So let's go through some of those examples, like try it before you buy it. You had something we were doing for your dog food business that might categorize in 2 or 3 of these.
Well, because
risk reversals.
it's commodity based, consumable. We have done a lot of things. One of the guarantees we did, okay, go ahead and try the product for free, and you just pay the shipping. We did that.
Right. Okay, that's a good one.
Currently,
Try
if
before
you're
you buy.
local or you're being purchasing through one of our distributors, you can get your first month free when you sign up for auto ship, and you can cancel at any time. So then you're technically committing to long-term purchasing month after month, but your first month is free. And if your dog doesn't like it for whatever reason, then you can cancel and it costs you nothing. So that's
Perfect.
it's a 100% risk reversal. The other side of that is, but we're getting them to commit. And what we've
Right.
learned, why do we do this guarantee? We've learned that you can convert. It takes about 10 days to convert a dog, but after 21 days, most of our clients will see a difference in their pet, in their breath and their way they go poop and all that stuff. So we know we want that dog eating our food for 21 days, and we know that that's the winning formula. So sometimes the risk reversal is in the formula for success for your own company. So these are reasons for the risk reversal. Amazon has no questions asked, you got to give them their money back. Nothing. I mean, it doesn't matter. I've heard there's a lot of complaints about vendors who sell on Amazon, and Amazon gives money back and the product is destroyed or whatever. It doesn't matter. Amazon doesn't care. They still give the money back. It's always the customer's always right. Isn't that what you just said a little while ago?
Right. And that's right. Talk about guarantee the results. I see Weight Watcher commercials on the TV all the time, and it's, guaranteed 10 pounds in whatever, 2 weeks or a month. I forget the time frame. Or your money back guarantee, right? Because they're trying to get you on the Weight Watchers program. They're trying to get you in there. They know, like I said, you'll see the results. You'll get positive reinforcement of losing the 10 pounds, and then you'll want to stay into their program, right? So the guarantee and their results, right?
Well, think about, you mentioned GM before, but I want to go back several generations before that to when Chrysler had the K car, #1 selling car in America. It was the biggest piece of junk, in my opinion. Okay, I don't want to get sued by Chrysler, but it was the #1 selling car in America. Why? Because they offered the best guarantee in the business, which was, I believe it was 10 years, 100,000 mile warranty or something crazy. And then Hyundai copied that many years later. But the point is they offered this almost impossible to compete with warranty, and everybody bought the K car. Why? Because they knew the car would be in the shop so much, but if you didn't have to pay to have it in the shop, it didn't really matter. So that was Lee Iacocca. Great risk reversal. So yeah, we make a piece of crap, but we'll guarantee it so it won't cost you anything.
That's really good. Well, Dean Jackson talks about at least to think about it, whether you offer this or not. But Dean Jackson talks about what if you didn't get paid until you provided the result, right? What would that look like? That if I know that I could get this client the result, if they did everything I told them to do, I know that this would happen. I know I could get them to lose 10 pounds if they, ate my stuff and exercised 30 minutes a day and I know I can get the results. So he was saying, at least even as an exercise, if you don't offer that guarantee the results, think to yourself as if I'm not going to get paid unless I lose the 10 pounds. So you're a personal trainer, right? You know that you could get a personal trainer, you can get your client to lose 10 pounds. If they, like I said, work 30 minutes a day and they counted their calories, no matter what the diet plan is, right? Whatever the calorie counting or the keto diet or whatever it is, I know if they stuck to the diet and exercised 30 minutes a day and they didn't drink, they didn't eat chocolate, that they would lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. How about I'll do the first 2 weeks for free if you follow my formula, right? That would be another.
I once went to a weight loss thing and they were like, the rules were you couldn't drink coffee. There were so many rules. I was like, no coffee, you're nuts. I'm not in, I'm out.
Because that's not going to work for you.
Well, that was part of the guarantee. But at the same time, if you're an honest customer, see, that's the other thing is sometimes a guarantee can work against you, but you got to have the assumption that the people you're going to deal with are honest customers.
Right, and then you got to look at the stats. Like this one of the stats I looked up would be return and keep the bonus. Get our product, then you get to keep the bonus, the dog leash, or keep the dog, keep the food. it's like something like, I don't know what your results have been for the dog food business, but like this was talking about an industry average of less than like 2%
Very
of
small.
people kind of screw you. Yeah.
Especially the guarantees. You have a lot of them that you have to return the product.
Right.
And so sometimes the guarantee is complex, meaning like you mentioned Zappos earlier, they make it really easy. We'll pay to ship it back. That's their kind of their thing. But sometimes it's, hey, we'll give you the refund as soon as you send the product back. Well, a lot of times people aren't going to go through the trouble to send it back.
Right.
I remember, I mean, most digital products today have a money back guarantee and you get to keep the product.
Yes.
Because they assume you downloaded it anyway. If it's an online platform, they might lock you out. But at the same time, it takes all the risk out of it.
It takes all the risk out of it. Zappos is a great example. We talked about before line. Zappos is really the first shoe company online, really. And they were saying, if you don't like it, you can return it. And if it doesn't fit, you can return it. Or for any reason you don't like it, you can send it back to us and we'll even pay the shipping. And that really got to be where, you know, people were reluctant to buy shoes online because they like to go try them on and make sure they fit. Right now you'll have people buy 2 or 3 pairs of shoes and just send back the 2 pair that don't fit. My daughters a couple of years ago for a prom, you know, bought 3, 4 prom dresses, right? They came to our house, they had a whole party where all the girls try on the dresses and you send back the ones that don't fit. So now they've actually made that into a party, right?
There's even, I mean, when you talk about, you have 2 daughters, I have 1, and they buy a lot of clothes online. It's, I mean, to us, like buying online was such a foreign, like buying clothes, don't you got to try them on? But what these retailers have done, and we'll call them e-tailers because they're online, what these e-tailers have done is taken all the risk out of it. And what is their reward for taking the risk out? They're not paying for a big box, okay? Right. So is there an expense in these returns? Sure. But now they're not paying for this big retail store. So their risk is their risk reversal is their gain.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And so we alluded to it earlier, so I had totally forgotten about that. GM cars during the last recession, 8, 9, 10, the car dealers were so worried about, you know, not selling cars that they offered, General Motors in particular, offered if you get laid off, if you lose your job, we'll make your car payments for a year. That was their guarantee. We'll make your car payments for a year. I have no idea what the stats were on that. I probably should look that up. But the idea would be, think about that. They're selling you a $50,000 car, truck, SUV, and 1 month's worth of, you know, 1 year's worth of payments. What's that? You know, $500, $600 a month times, you know, $6,000, and they sold you a 60,000 piece of machinery. What are the odds you'll be able to work for a year?
I'm guessing there was in the fine print, it was probably a loan modification where they put it on the back of the loan.
Probably put it on the back end. Yeah, probably like one of those.
I'm sure there was a loan modification. They're not stupid, and they're the ones lending the money if they're GMAC financing.
Their money anyway.
But you know, I think about like you talk about GM, but you talk about American cars right now have this big problem. There's, from what I understand, there's 2020 automobiles, like millions of them, and they don't have computers for them yet. And so what's going to happen, the 2021s are coming out and they won't have computers for them. And they're going to have all these cars that they have to sell. So what you're going to see is some really creative guarantees that come out in the American car market.
Right.
Because you're buying an older car, in order to get you to buy it, maybe they'll guarantee a trade-in, or there's going to be some, this is where risk reversal comes in. When you've got this inventory you got to sell, well, you got to come up with a risk reversal to get the consumer to overcome all their fears and make a decision and take action.
We were talking about that right now. So my car is on a 3-year lease, right? So it runs out in July of next year. And of course, with COVID, we all drove less. So now come next July, it'll be way underneath the miles. But right now, new cars are hard to get. You know, used cars are actually, they're up 25, 30% in price. So the dealer would want my car back because the dealerships actually make more money on used cars than they do new cars. Right. So, hey, let's get a really good used car with low mileage that we can sell at a bigger profit margin. But then, you know, what are they going to have to offer me? They're going to offer me a new car, but can they get it with the chip shortage? I have no idea. We were talking about that at lunch today.
Well, if you're buying it, you have a Lexus, right?
Yeah.
If you're buying a Lexus, I'm sure, I mean, they're Japanese companies. So I don't want to say this in a bad way, but they're smarter in terms of.
They have chips for their own cars?
They have chips for their own. Lexus does. However, there's been an enormous run on Toyotas, so there are very little inventory. I highly doubt that, and I highly doubt anybody's going to be able to make you an offer that'll be better than actually the buyout on your lease, because the car market, the appreciation is, some
It's
cars
ridiculous right now. It's ridiculous right now.
three times, almost 300% on some used automobiles. That's what that. So if they're going to give you an offer, it's not going to work to your advantage. It's going to work to theirs.
Right.
So
of course it is. They got to make their money.
The buyout for you is probably going to be the best bet. However, if they offer you a brand new XYZ and you stay in the same payment or whatever.
Yeah, that's typical of their stuff. That's typical of their stuff. But what's interesting is the exercise, going back to it, is how can you make this a biggest no-brainer of the world for somebody to do business with you, right? And how can you reverse the risk for them? And really, it's almost going back to say, what are the top 3 reasons somebody might not do business with me? And if I can have an answer for each of those top 3 reasons, then I really make it a no-brainer, right? So let's say you're a dentist who does, reconstructive surgery on your mouth. And so it's really expensive to get something like that done, right? Or even just a cavity, right? And it's going to be, well, what are reasons people don't get their cavity fixed? Well, it's usually the money, the time, the pain, right? So you could be the pain, right? So you could be the pain-free dentist. If you feel any bit of pain, we'll give you your money back. You could be we'll finance the cavity, you could pay it over 3 months or something like that, right? We got the 0% interest in cars, going back to the car dealers. That kind of when that started was 0% interest back in the last recession, was the 0% interest for those cars back then. So what else could you do? The dentistry, people won't, the time, I don't know how you come up with time. I'm just trying to tell you, if you think through what are the reasons people don't buy your product, and if you you eliminate the risk, you reverse the risk, now you have, like we said, a no-brainer for them at least to try your product. You're saying the dog food. Let's try your product because we know in 21 days they're going to see results. Awesome. The P90X people, right? So what do they call it? Body something? Because they have all kinds of exercise stuff.
I can't think of the name of it right now.
Yeah, and you'll see the infomercial, and now what they're doing is a $10 a month, I think, or $20 a month. They're doing monthly payments. So instead of, it used to be like $300 to buy the P90X, now it's like $10 a month, and you can have access to all our exercise programs, right? And money back guarantee, and it's only $10, and there's a bonus that comes with it. They're using all those things. These infomercials are using all these risk reversals. Little outlay of $10, or maybe it's free for the first 30. It's not a big outlay. It's just a monthly thing, right? You get this bonus of our food guide, our nutrition guide, or our shake supplements. Test out our shake supplements. Anyway, you're using it all.
Well, so 0% financing is one of the most successful financing models that's ever been done, bar none. But how does it really work? And people don't even understand. They think they're technically getting 0% financing, but they've paid an inflated amount for the product. And I'm going to use an example. Let's say you're a cosmetic dentist and you do $42,000 full mouth, implant on bridges or whatever they call them. And so it's $42,000. Well, let's say the rate that the banks would give on that type of investment would be 8%. Well, what can happen a lot of times is you can buy that down on the front end. So what would that be? 42,000. It'd be about, we'll just say 10%. It'd be $4,200 to buy the rate down. So what they do is they're going to sell you that set of teeth for about $47,000.
They just add it on to the price.
And then they're going to give you the 0% financing. So people say, wow, I can afford this now because it's not going to cost me anything to finance it. I'm getting this spread out over time, 5 years. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but at the same time, you feel like I'm getting free interest. Why wouldn't I do this? I would do this if I had the money, but I can afford it over this amount of time. So that's typically the way the 0% works. Same in the car industry. I mean, GM AC was, they were basically buying the rate down so that they could sell cars. And that you're going to see a lot of that, I think, in the coming years as these multiple cars. But this is all risk reversal.
It's all risk reversal. Yeah. Try it before you buy it, guarantee your results. Customer always win, double your money back guarantees, extending the warranties. So it's just a great exercise for you to think of, what can you do? What can you offer? Again, what if I didn't even get paid until I got the results, right? That's like, what is it? Well, it's kind of like on your model, right? Where you're getting their credit card up front, even though there's no payment because the first month is free. So I'm not going to charge your credit card until next month. right?
Yep.
But I've got your credit card, so you've kind of made a mini commitment to me, and you'd have to cancel in order to do that. And by the time we get there, you're not going to cancel because your dog's going to love our dog food.
Yeah, and now we've made it convenient for the next purchase. However,
Yeah.
there's another thing in copywriting that, and when I coach people in copywriting, what I teach them is always name your guarantee. Like
Oh, I
the
like it.
the Matt Hutchins, you're guaranteed to make.
Or just call it the platinum guarantee,
Yeah,
or the
or you can
you
call
know.
it whatever you want. You could call it, whatever you want it. I'm absolutely nuts, or you're absolute idiot if you don't buy this guarantee. But the name it part of the guarantee, you'll notice on almost all, how do I say this, platform type. When I say platform, think of Tony Robbins, Jeff Walker. They all have a named guarantee. Why do they have a named guarantee? Because it's that one enhancement. Oh, there's a name for the guarantee. So, it makes people feel all the fears.
There's more value, right? There's more value to it. Yeah.
The more well thought out your guarantee is, the more people will kind of take down their guard. They're like, well, it's not that risky if I can get my money back. It's like, if you apply for a mortgage, we won't pull your credit until we know you're 95% approved, or
Good point. Right.
those type of things. So you don't have to worry about this even hurting your credit. Or you show up at a open house and, hey, we'll get you a pre-approval letter without a hard pull on your credit. All these things happen. You don't even notice, but they're out there everywhere, and they're total risk reversals so that people will take action. Because people have all these fears, and then you start knocking down the fears with these risk reversals.
Yes, and it's a way to generate sales immediately too, right? So that's a great example. When here's a challenge that you should try, right? Anybody who hasn't bought the product or service from you in the last 18 months, right? So there's a stat that says that in the last 18 months, if they inquired, asked questions about your service, 50% of those people are going to buy it. So they may not have bought it with you, or they may not have bought it yet, but 50% are going to buy it. So you could go back to your list and kind of a reactivation campaign in this sense, and maybe experiment with, an email or a phone call follow-up. Hey, are you still interested in, the XYZ product? One of the reasons people don't buy is because of XYZ. Well, in order to overcome that, if this is you, here's what I'm going to guarantee, right? So we had one of a colleague of mine who did this, and he went back over the last year and a half, people who had not bought his product, and he just wrote one big email to the whole list with 3 different reasons. Like, I think these are the top 3 reasons people aren't buying. And he had a solution for each one of the reasons, right? Oh, it's too expensive, we'll finance it. Oh, I'm not sure I'll get the results, we'll guarantee the results, right? I might be too complicated, we're gonna have weekly Q&A calls, right? He added that as a service, weekly Q&A calls from the product, right? And so he said, if these are one of the 3 reasons that you haven't bought my product before, I've got the solution for these 3 reasons. And he had something like a 50% response rate of people who ended up purchasing. Now, he did his research. He kind of picked his top 3 reasons, and they are actually obviously must have been the top 3 reasons, right? Then he came up with really good solutions as to how he might overcome those. One of those, like I said, was it was a complex product. We're going to do weekly Q&A calls to make sure you know how to use it and implement it, right? And because of that, he got a 50% response rate. So those are people that inquired about your product but hadn't bought it. It's what we would call a reactivation campaign in dentistry or any kind of retail or any type of business. People who have bought from me in the past and haven't bought recently. So there's your challenge item. Go do that. Go reactivate old clients, past clients, people who haven't bought from me, people ask questions, and maybe think of the top 2 or 3 reasons they might not have bought it, and come up with a solution to make it a no-brainer, at least to get them in the door, right?
Yeah, Ryan Levay. Yeah, I think his name is Ryan Levay. It's spelled Levesque. Okay. He's got a book called Ask, and it's the Ask method. I mean, what you're really doing is asking why your prospect is not buying. So you actually, the reactivation campaign, if they tell you why they're not buying, then you go and create these risk reversals based around the Ask method. And I mean, that's kind of the whole crux of his book. The Ask method is create enough risk reversal based around the facts of why your clients aren't buying. Simple. I mean,
simple.
If you can find all the reasons why your clients don't buy,
and overcome those, yeah.
All you have to do is overcome them. And how do you overcome them? You got to take away their fear. Now, if it all depends on what you're selling. I mean, sometimes you can't overcome. If you're,
No, but I mean, that's the, you can't tell them what we can't do here. In this episode, we're talking about how we can overcome their using.
Yeah.
So this is it. So increase sales by using risk reversal. So we challenge you to say, what are the top three reasons why people don't buy from you, and how can you overcome them, right? Dean Jackson would tell you to what if you'd only got paid once you got the result? What would you ask people to do in order to do that, even if that's not your guarantee? So you can have wimpy guarantees, you can have big guarantees, but think through what are the reasons people aren't buying from me, and how can I guarantee or risk reversal that, make it the biggest no-brainer of the world for them to do business with us. Episode 149. Matt at profitabilitymd.com, Dave at profitabilitymd.com. We do this in our mastermind, our coaching group. We also have our irresistible offer is a profit acceleration session. Find any business owner $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 without spending $1 more on advertising or marketing. We call that a profit acceleration session. Find us at profitabilitymd.com. That's our website, our YouTube channel, ProfitabilityMD. And then, of course, anywhere you find your podcast. This is good stuff. Risk reversals to grow your business, make it the biggest no-brainer of the world to do business with.
Awesome. Have a great afternoon.
Bye, buddy. See you.
All right, bye.